Hello, everyone. You're watching the Third Person channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that can truly transform your life. Mastering communication, from shy to prolific. In this podcast, we'll explore every facet of communication through the lens of a third person, where you'll learn how to overcome shyness and become an outstanding speaker. So, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the Third Person channel now and join us on this journey.
This is our podcast, the Third Person Podcast. Enjoy the time with us for the next few minutes.
Have you ever been in a conversation, maybe felt like you had something really valuable to add, but somehow the words just didn't land? Or maybe you did speak up, but it felt like your voice just kind of vanished. That feeling, of being unheard or even just feeling a bit shy, it's something so many of us deal with.
Oh, absolutely.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into our sources to really understand and maybe even transform your voice and your whole communication style.
It's so true. And for me, this whole thing started from a very personal place. English is actually my third language.
Wow.
And I really remember feeling, profoundly isolated because people literally couldn't understand me and my voice wasn't connecting.
Yeah.
But then once I sort of cracked the code, for effective communication, the feeling was just immense. And that's when it hit me. This isn't some innate talent you're born with.
Right.
It's actually a set of learnable behaviors. And grasping that, it changes everything about how you see your own potential.
And that's exactly our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To equip you with insights, actionable steps from our sources to help you become a more confident, more impactful communicator. Doesn't matter where you're starting from.
Exactly.
So let's get into it. We often hear people say, I'm just shy. It's like this label they wear. Yeah. But is shyness really inherent? Or is there more going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. When people say that, I tend to gently push back a bit.
Okay.
I'll say, well, no, you haven't really been shy all this time. You've just been practicing shy behaviors, maybe for 15, 20, sometimes even 40 years.
Practicing shy behaviors. That's a different way to frame it.
It really is. Think about it. Being a confident communicator isn't about some magic gift. It's about diligently practicing a different set of behaviors. It's a fundamental shift, really.
Okay, but that sounds like a pretty bold claim that anyone, even someone who feels really unconfident, can truly become, a powerful communicator.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing people get wrong about natural talent here?
Well, the biggest misconception is exactly that, thinking it's something you're either born with or you're not. But yes, absolutely, anyone can learn. Every little nuance you see in a great communicator.
Like what?
Like the subtle way they use their mouth, how they manage their breath, even their hand gestures. It's all just practiced behaviors, series of them. And that natural voice people talk about, it's not really natural. It's your habitual voice. It's just been formed by years and years of, unconscious repetition. We all fall into these patterns,
Okay.
And this journey, it often starts in what we call unconscious incompetence. Basically, you're just unaware of your communication habits, maybe those little ums or ahs you use.
Right. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Then comes the really critical step, conscious incompetence. This is where you become aware, sometimes painfully aware, of those habits.
The uncomfortable stage.
Yes, uncomfortable but essential. Then you move into conscious competence. Now, this stage can be frustrating because you know what you should be doing, but it feels, forced, maybe even fake.
Right, like you're putting on an act.
Precisely. But you have to push through this stage because the goal, the ultimate aim, is unconscious competence. That's mastery, where those powerful new habits become second nature, effortless.
It's funny, isn't it? We'll happily change our hairstyle, get new glasses, update our clothes, but we cling so tightly to our familiar ways of speaking, even if they're not really helping us. There's this weird attachment.
That's it. That attachment is the real challenge sometimes. You can't let it hold you back. You have to give that future, more confident version of yourself a real chance. Think about it like this. Your communication potential is like a grand piano, right? It's got 88 keys.
Right.
But most people, They only play with maybe 5 keys, just the ones they know, the ones that feel comfortable.
Familiar ones.
Exactly. But when you decide to explore some of those other keys, those new ways of communicating, don't call it fake or phony. It's just unfamiliar. And honestly, that's where the magic really starts to happen.
I like that piano analogy. Exploring the unfamiliar keys.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, what are maybe the top, say, 3 practical problems people consistently bring up? The things they're really struggling with day to day.
Okay, yeah. The first big one is what I often call the agony of unawareness. People feel stuck. They say things like, I know something's wrong, but I have no idea what it is or where to even start.
Right, just feeling lost.
Totally lost. And the solution here, well, it can feel a bit uncomfortable at first, but it is absolutely vital. It's record and review yourself.
Ooh, okay. That sounds confronting.
It can be, but it's so powerful. Just grab your phone, record yourself talking for maybe 5 minutes. Simple as that.
Okay.
Then
Right.
break it down over 3 days. Day 1, watch the recording silently. Mute the sound. Just observe. What are your hands doing? Your facial expressions? How's your posture? Notice those visual quirks.
Right, just the visuals.
Yep. Day 2. Now, just listen. Audio only. Don't watch. Focus on your volume, your pace. Are you using filler words like, really listen, be honest with yourself.
Okay.
Audio check.
And then day 3, get it transcribed. Actually see the words written out. You might be amazed at how often you repeat certain phrases or maybe speak in circles without realizing it.
Wow. Seeing it written down must be revealing.
Oh, incredibly. I had one student, for example, who realized his constant umming and ahhing. Well, it had subtly but definitely cost him about 6 years of career progression. He figured it out by seeing the transcription.
6 years, that's significant.
Yeah.
Painful but powerful, like you said.
Exactly. Painful truth, a powerful realization.
Okay, I can see how that recording process would be super effective. But that initial cringe factor you mentioned, hearing your own voice, it's so common. What's your advice for just pushing past that?
Ah, yes, the cringe. It's completely normal, truly. See, your voice sounds different inside your head because the sound vibrates through your skull bones. Right, it sounds deeper to yourself.
Exactly. Fuller. On a recording, it's just the sound waves in the air, so it sounds thinner, different. The key is simply desensitization.
Just keep listening.
Just keep listening and watching. Eventually, that initial shock wears off. Your brain kind of recalibrates and you start to hear it more objectively. It's just part of the process. You got to get used to your own sound.
Okay, makes sense. So that covers the unawareness problem. What's the second big issue you see?
The second one is the frustration of being invisible. This is where people say things like, I keep getting interrupted, or my ideas just get ignored, or why aren't they listening to me?
Yeah, feeling overlooked, that's incredibly frustrating.
It really is. And often the core issue here is simply that their vocal presence, and sometimes their physical presence too, it's just too low, too dialed back.
So they're not making an impact.
Exactly. The solution. You have to consciously command your space. Physically, this could mean, in a meeting, ask if you can stand up when you speak. It instantly gives you a bit more authority.
Stand up. Interesting.
Yeah. Use bigger, more confident body language. Take up a little more room. And vocally, speak with a stronger, more resonant volume, not shouting, just fuller, projecting more.
Okay.
When you do that, you make yourself infinitely harder to interrupt. Now, again, it might feel unfamiliar at first, maybe even a bit forced.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But remember that piano analogy? It's not fake. It's just a new, more powerful way of showing up, a different key you're playing.
Command your space. I like that. Physically and vocally. But I'm thinking about people who are maybe naturally more reserved, more introverted, taking up space, projecting more. That sounds like it could be really draining for them.
Yeah.
How do you handle that energy aspect?
And that leads us perfectly into the third common problem, which I always approach with a lot of empathy, the introvert's dilemma, draining energy.
Right.
So many introverts feel this exhaustion. They ask, how can I possibly find the energy, let alone the courage, to constantly put myself out there and be heard?
Yeah, it's a real concern.
It absolutely is. And it's important to understand introverts and extroverts aren't different in their ability to communicate effectively. They're different in how they gain and lose energy.
Okay, that's a key distinction.
Huge distinction. An introvert's communication music can be just as beautiful, just as impactful. They just need to be really strategic about, when and how they perform.
Strategic energy use.
Precisely. Yeah. So for introverts, it's all about essential energy management. First rule, protect your energy. Don't waste it on things that don't matter right before a big meeting or presentation. conserve it wisely.
Be intentional.
Very intentional. And then develop your own personal menu items for rejuvenation. Things you know will recharge you.
Like what kind of things?
Well, it varies for everyone, right? But it could be something like Wim Hof breathing. Those deep breaths and holds, they really oxygenate your brain, wake you up.
Okay, the breathing techniques.
Or maybe it's specific nourishing snacks, blueberries, raspberries, something light and healthy. Find your go-to power beverage. For some people, it's coffee. For others, tea, whatever works.
Fueling up.
And maybe keep a laughter playlist handy, like genuinely hilarious videos that make you crack up. A quick burst of laughter can totally shift your state.
A laughter playlist. I love that.
It works. And maybe even, believe it or not, some people find listening to intense orchestral war music gets them instantly energized and focused.
Wow. Okay. Whatever works for you.
Exactly. It's about finding your personal energy boosters and having them ready to go.
So what's really coming through here is that this isn't about pretending to be an extrovert if you're an introvert or changing your core personality. It's about finding tools and strategies that genuinely work for you.
That's it, exactly.
But it also sounds like it requires real dedication, discipline, especially if you're trying to undo, decades of old communication habits. That seems hard.
Oh, it absolutely demands discipline. And yes, it is harder to change when you're older simply because those neural pathways, those habits, are so deeply carved. It's not just about learning, it's often about unlearning.
Unlearning, okay.
And here's a crucial mindset shift. Feeling that struggle, that difficulty, it's not a sign you're failing. It's actually a sign that you're changing.
Okay. Struggle equals change.
Embrace it. And honestly, you learn so much more from your failures, from the times it doesn't quite work, than from your easy successes.
How so?
Because failure shines a spotlight directly on your weaknesses. It tells you exactly what you need to work on. If you never stumble, you never really know where the gaps are. You have to sort of pay the price of discomfort to get the reward of growth.
Paying the price for change. That definitely resonates. I remember being forced into public speaking classes when I was like 11.
Oh, wow. Young.
Yeah. And for years, honestly, it felt so completely fake, so unnatural. It wasn't me. So for someone older facing that same feeling, but with even deeper habits, how do you convince them to push through that, potentially long period of discomfort? How do you start without getting totally overwhelmed?
That is such a key point. And that's why the one thing at a time approach is so vital, especially for established habits.
Okay. Don't try to fix everything at once.
Please don't. If you've been doing something for decades, trying to change 7 different communication aspects simultaneously is just a recipe for frustration and giving up.
Yeah, sounds impossible.
Pick one specific behavior. Maybe it's reducing filler words. Maybe it's making more eye contact. Maybe it's using pauses. Focus solely on that one thing for a while. Be patient with yourself.
Like learning to drive again, almost.
It's a great analogy. Think about driving. After years, we all pick up little bad habits when no one's looking, right? We get lazy with signaling or steering. Communication is exactly the same. You have to consciously practice the good habits, one at a time, to build that new muscle memory. Slowly, deliberately.
One thing at a time. Got it. What about something like accents? That comes up a lot. People worry their accent holds them back.
Accents. I feel very strongly about this. Let me be really clear. Accents are beautiful.
Okay.
They tell the story of who you are, where you come from. Your accent itself is almost never the real problem.
So what is the problem then if it's not the accent?
It's usually about articulation and pronunciation, clarity.
How clearly you speak.
Exactly. I can share a personal example. When I first moved to the U.S., my Australian accent wasn't the issue. It was the fact that I used a lot of Aussie slang, and I tended to slur my words a bit. I wasn't articulating clearly.
And how do people react?
Well, frankly, some people assumed I wasn't very intelligent simply because they couldn't easily understand me. It wasn't the accent, it was the lack of clarity.
Okay, so how do you fix clarity without changing the accent?
There's a fantastic practical exercise for this. Simple but profound. Get any book, read aloud from it for just 5 minutes. But here's the key. As you read, wildly over-exaggerate the movements of your lips and your tongue. Really shape every single sound.
Over-exaggerate, like cartoonishly.
Yes. Feel your mouth muscles working overtime. And if you want an extra challenge, put a pen or pencil horizontally in your mouth, holding it lightly between your teeth and Try to read clearly around it.
Whoa, okay. That sounds tough.
It forces incredible articulation. Do this maybe 4 times a day, just 5 minutes each time. The outcome? You'll start to notice which sounds are actually difficult for you to make clearly. You learn to shape your words beautifully, precisely. And suddenly, you can sound incredibly intelligent and captivating with your unique accent. Clarity is the key.
That's a brilliant exercise. Focus on the mechanics,
Yeah.
not changing the accent itself. Okay, this brings up a broader question. In communication, what's more important?
Right.
What you say the content or how you say the delivery?
You know, people debate this all the time, but honestly, they are equally critical. Both matter immensely.
Equally.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear content that is so profound, so resonant, maybe like Steve Jobs' Stanford commencement speech, that it just pierces your heart, almost regardless of how perfectly it was delivered. The message itself carries enormous weight.
Right, the power of the words.
But then think about a masterful musician, a genius pianist. They could play a very simple tune, something basic, but how they play it, the nuance, the emotion, the skill can make it absolutely extraordinary. Masterful delivery elevates everything.
So you need both.
Ideally, yes. The goal is to first find your purpose, your truly authentic message, the what's, and then align that message with your incredible instrument, your voice, your body language, the how.
That makes sense. It makes me think of people who have that mindset of, oh, just let my work speak for itself.
Right. And I always want to gently challenge that. Why only let your work speak for itself? Why can't you also speak powerfully for your work? Why not take ownership of its presentation to the world?
Good point. Take ownership. Okay, let's get practical again. Fast talkers. Many people speed up when they're nervous or passionate. How do you tame that? And what about the opposite, embracing the pause?
The fast talker. Yes. First step, as always, is awareness. Recognize when it happens. Usually it's in those high pressure moments, right? When you're nervous or maybe overly excited.
Yeah, adrenaline kicks in.
Exactly. So to tame the fast talker and embrace the pause, you need to calm the core. Your breath is your anchor. Use those breathing techniques we talked about, like Wim Hof, or just simple deep belly breaths to quiet your nervous system.
So breathing first.
Breathing first. And second, physically discharge the adrenaline before you speak. If you have a big presentation, maybe 5 minutes before, go for a brisk walk. Do some push-ups in private, or even some quick jumping jacks. I call them star jumps.
Seriously.
Jumping jacks.
Absolutely. Get that nervous energy out of your body physically so it doesn't come out as rushed speech.
Okay, discharge the energy. Makes sense.
And the third piece is a mindset shift. Stop thinking about yourself. How am I doing? Am I messing up? Instead, focus entirely on serving your audience. What do they need to hear? How can you help them? When you shift the focus off yourself, the nervousness and often the fast talking tends to fade.
Focus on service. I like that. Okay, and what about the pause? Fast talkers often fear silence.
The sacred pause. It's not empty space. It's not a void to be feared. It's actually a gift to your listener.
A gift. How so?
It gives people a moment to actually process what you've just said. Without pauses, your brilliant ideas could just become a blur like mumbo jumbo. Nobody can absorb it.
Right, information overload. Totally. Think about music again. Often, the most powerful resonant note is the one that comes right after a moment of profound silence. The pause builds anticipation. It commands attention. It creates clarity. Don't fear the pause. Use it strategically.
Use the pause as a tool. Okay, so we've talked about self-awareness, presence, energy, pace. What about connecting with the audience more deeply?
Great transition. This moves us into audience-centric communication, and it builds on that mindset shift we just discussed.
Okay.
Stop asking, how can I be impressive, or how do I look sound? That's self-judging, right?
Yeah, inward focus.
Instead, ask yourself, what is this specific person or this audience truly struggling with right now? What are their challenges, their pains, their hopes? When you speak directly to their world, their experience, that's when you create a really deep connection.
Speak to their struggle.
Exactly. And a really powerful technique here is the power of matching. This isn't just about mirroring body language, which some people talk about. It's about matching their vocal foundations.
Vocal foundations. Like what?
Their rate of speech, their volume level, their general pitch range. If someone is speaking quite softly and slowly, don't barrel in super loud and fast. Meet them where they are. Match their energy initially to build empathy and rapport.
Okay, meet them vocally first.
Yes. And then, once you've established that connection, you can gently, subtly start to lead them. Maybe you gradually increase the energy, the pace, the volume, bringing them along with you to a more engaged space. It is quite possibly the fastest way to build rapport.
Matching and leading. That's fascinating. So avoid being stuck in just one way of speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to break the one gear habit. So many people communicate in the same way, regardless of the situation.
Right. Same tone for everything.
But think about your own life. You don't use the same voice when you're really angry as you do when you're apologizing sincerely or when you're overjoyed, right?
No, definitely not.
Of course not. You are a dynamic human being with many different vocal gears. Learn to access them intentionally. And related to this, always try to be as big as the room.
Be as big as the room, meaning
Adjust your energy level to the environment. If you're speaking one-on-one in a small office, a quieter, more intimate energy is appropriate. But if you're presenting in a massive auditorium or even a large boardroom, you need to project a bigger, more vibrant version of yourself to fill that space energetically.
so match the energy to the space.
Precisely. The danger usually isn't being too much, it's playing too small.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to expand your presence to fit the context.
Okay, this is all incredibly useful. Is there like one hidden secret weapon that really great communicators use?
A hidden secret. Well, it's not exactly hidden, but it's something most people don't do consistently. You know why so many online creators, podcasters, YouTubers become such impeccable communicators over time?
Why is that?
Because they record themselves constantly, every day, every week. They watch or listen back. They critically analyze what worked, what didn't. They refine.
Back to the recording.
Yeah, back to the recording. If you committed to recording yourself speaking maybe just once a week, analyzing one small thing, you would gain an absolutely incredible competitive edge over almost everyone else. It's that powerful.
Just once a week. That seems doable. Okay, what about that feeling of being fake or inauthentic when trying these new things? We touched on it, but it trips so many people up.
Yes, the inauthentic trap. This is huge. Please, if you see someone trying a new communication behavior, maybe they're trying to speak louder or use more gestures and it looks a bit clunky or feels awkward, do not label them fake or inauthentic.
What is it then, if not fake?
It's inexperience, not insincerity. Think about someone learning the saxophone for the first time. Do they sound amazing right away?
And probably pretty squeaky.
Exactly. Are they being fake? Of course not. They're learning. They're exploring the instrument. We need so much more compassion for people trying new communication styles. That person isn't being insincere. They're just inexperienced with that particular key on their piano. They're bravely trying to find new ways to be heard, to connect, to let their ideas shine.
So reframe awkwardness as learning.
Yes. And you can help yourself and others by priming your context.
Priming your context, what does that mean?
It means telling the people around you what you're working on. If you're trying to speak with more energy or use more pauses, tell your partner, your close colleagues, hey, I'm actively working on using my voice differently because I want to connect better, give you more energy. If you notice me doing it, even if it's a bit awkward at first, could you maybe just encourage me?
Turn potential critics into allies.
Exactly. It transforms potential judgment. Why are they talking weird? Into support. Oh, cool. They're trying that thing they mentioned. It gives you permission to practice imperfectly.
That's really smart. Manage expectations.
Yeah. And you know, my own vocal coach used to say something that has always stuck with me. She said, your voice is your personality.
Your voice is your personality. Wow.
Think about it. When people meet you and they like your personality, what are they actually responding to? Largely, it's how you communicate, how you play your vocal instrument, your energy, your expressions.
Huh. I never thought of it quite like that.
So if you neglect that instrument, if you put no conscious intention into how you use your voice and body, you're essentially putting no intention into how your personality is perceived in the world. It's that fundamental.
That really lands. Your voice is your personality.
Yeah.
Wow. This has been just an absolute masterclass. Seriously, the insights and the really practical steps shared in this deep dive are genuinely transformative. It's not just theory. It's stuff you can start doing today.
I'm glad it's helpful.
And I think if there's maybe one single nugget to take away from everything we've discussed, it has to be the profound impact of actually recording yourself speaking. That seems like the essential starting point for this whole journey.
It truly is the gateway to awareness and change.
So to leave everyone with something to think about.
Okay. Well, if your voice truly is your personality, then maybe ask yourself this. What new keys on your communication piano are you willing to start exploring this week? Even if, especially if, they feel a little unfamiliar right now, what will you try to unlock the full symphony of who you really are?